I'll call to order the regular meeting of the Ascension Parish Council Thursday, October 20th. Our invocation tonight will be led by Reverend Ken Spivey. He's Deputy Ascension Parish Sheriff's Office and Chaplain. He's also a minister at the Healing Place Church.
Let us pray. Gracious Heavenly Father, we come before you this evening, a humble people, thankful for your goodness to our nation, our state, and our parish, for giving us blessings far beyond what we deserve. But as we gather tonight, we know that all is not well with our nation, and we deeply need a spiritual renewal to help us meet the many problems that we face. So I pray that you'll convict us of the things that we need to change. You'd give us the courage to change the things that need to be changed. That you'd help us turn to you in faith and set our feet on the path of your righteousness and peace and unity. I pray today for our parish president, the parish council, and all the parish administrative staff. I pray for our sheriff and his administrative staff as well. All the brave young men and women who are bearing the badge, wearing the blue and the red, that you give them the wisdom to know what's right, the courage to implement those things, and we ask you to divinely guide their steps and bless them with wisdom, with prosperity and peace. I pray this evening for the family of Eugene Reeder, who has experienced this grievous loss. I ask that the God of all comfort would give them peace during this time. We also pray for Mr. Chester Diaz, who is facing some health challenges in the hospital, and also for Monica McCurry. We pray that your blessings and your healing touch would be with them. All these things I ask in the name of Christ. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Thank you, Reverend Spivey. Our pledge tonight will be led by Mr. C.J. Lambert.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, sir. Roll call, Ms. Sinman. All present with the exception of Councilman Benny Johnson, who's working tonight. I don't have any chair additions, but what I would like to say is we are passing on consent agenda item D and agenda item number 8. We are passing on those two items. Public comment period. I have a few people wishing to speak. First would be Scott Sayer. Please come forward. You'll be allowed 3 minutes. And please stay on your subject, sir.
Good evening. Zoning review for the tract A1A rain rod located on the north end of Perkins Oak Road. And I live at the end of Perkins Oak Road, and I want to keep the zoning intensity residential for medium use. I believe if you change the zoning and you allow these people to build what they want to build over there at some point in the future, I do believe that the property will change hands, and anything possible could end up on that property. And I'm afraid that once construction begins, it's going to be my road. It's going to be full of the trucks and everything, and that I do not like at all. So, if you would, we want to keep this located for medium intensity residential and not mixed use.
Okay, thank you, sir. I'd like to tell everybody that's coming up to speak on this item, this is for review only. This will not be a public hearing for approximately 2.5, 3 months. But I'm letting you come up and talk in the public comment period. Next is Sharon Saunders.
I'm a resident of Perkins Oak subdivision. Please accept the recommendation of the zoning council to keep the zoning as is for the Rainrod development, which is medium-intensive residential. I would like to know the total amount of money that Randy Dornier, the tennis professional / developer, will invest in the Rainrod development, and how long it will take before he gets his money back. I would like the Parish Ascension Parish Attorney to stop all activity on Rainrod property and investigate this suspicious and strange business / development until a study of the impact on Perkins Oak subdivision drainage sewage system and streets can be done. I also want a study of the environmental impact on Bayou Manchac. A tennis complex on this property doesn't make sense and it doesn't add up. I want to know the true intent of the developer, Randy Dornier, and all of his buddies. We know that Dornier has no access from Airline Highway because he brought no documents to the zoning meeting, so he will be using our small neighborhood streets. I have heard from a reliable source that developer
Stay on the
Randy
subject,
Dornier-
ma'am, please. Stay on your subject
I'm
about the tennis
discussing
courts.
the
Yes, ma'am.
impact.
Let's go.
The developer has inquired about using the density utilities right-of-ways in Perkins Oak subdivision. He will destroy our small neighborhood streets with his Teague rental dump trucks hauling contaminated oxidation pond soil out for treatment and then building up the property high enough for construction. It is a flood zone. I have also been told that the developer wants to change the neighborhood sewage system to the more expensive mechanical system to do away with the oxidation ponds, which use much of the land. The mechanical system is very expensive, and the DEQ regulations are very strict regarding discharge into the Manchac. Dump trucks on our small neighborhood streets are disruptive and noisy and dangerous to children and pets. We have numerous children who play on streets every day. Our houses are relatively close to the streets, and we have been disturbed by the noise of dump trucks previously. Please do as the zoning commission recommended and do not change the zoning from medium-intensive residential to mixed use, which could be apartment complexes, dry cleaners, dog kennels, and nightclubs. Please do the right thing for the neighborhood. Thank you.
I have Mr. Treg Touye, please.
I'd like to second what everybody has said so far. My and my wife's main concern is the fact that we're concerned about property values, and as the previous speaker stated, the traffic, because they're mainly dead-end subdivisions, and that was the reason we purchased the subdivision, because of the security that would provide for our family. Just mainly concerned about the value, how it would depreciate our property value. I really think the previous speaker kind of summed up everything in a nutshell. The other thing that I want to mention is on those streets, whenever you leave in the mornings or you leave in the evenings, if it does open up throughway through those subdivisions, it takes sometimes 10 minutes to turn on the Perkins. So it definitely would create a traffic havoc, in my opinion, as to just trying to get out of there. And just mainly my concern is because I have two children, the safety of my children, because they can play. You know, it is a fairly large neighborhood, so I just kind of want to keep it that way, guys. Thanks.
Thank you. Mr. Rodney Anderson?
Yeah, I live on White Oak, which is also in this area. And I like to say that we, the residents of Perkins Oak subdivision, would like to see the area stay residential. The zoning board has recommended that it not be rezoned, and this land there, our community. And we would hope that you would keep it this way and take the recommendation handed down and stand behind its findings. We, the people of this area, know as well as the council that if all this prospective property owner wants to do is build tennis courts and recreation area, he can do this without the rezoning. He says he's going to upgrade the sewer treatment facility, where we already know that an upgrade to bring this facility up to compliance has already been approved. We have too many kids that play in our area to increase the amount of traffic that would come from this rezoning of the property. This issue was on your agenda months ago. So why are we taking so long to act on it? The recommendation from the zoning board is what the people of this area wants. Since you are our voice in this matter, let's go ahead and accept that recommendation and end this and stop putting it off. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Robbie McCarley.
Hi, my name is Robin McCarley. I live in the Belgrove neighborhood, and as do many of the other people that are affected by this area. And I'd actually like to encourage anybody who's here that's associated with this neighborhood to please stand up, just to let you know how many people are very concerned about this possible change in the zoning. It would allow up to 20 units per acre next to our neighborhood, which currently we have one house for 2 to 3 acres. This would be a massive change in the layout of the neighborhood feel and also the quality of the life in the neighborhood. In planning your decision in the upcoming November meeting, which many of you will make your minds up in the next few weeks before that vote is actually called upon, I implore you to respect the recommendation of the Planning and Zoning Commission to deny the zoning change request. The perception and reality of the way in which this rezoning request has been handled is such that the public's perception appears to be becoming reality. This reality is based on the fact that the mechanism for handling the rezoning request has been perceived by the public to be one of an apparent delay, defer, and deny. And that issue has been available to the council to act upon since July 21st, when it was item number 10 on the agenda for review only. I've carefully examined the council agendas and the minutes since July 21st and find no mention of this rezoning issue. There have been 4 opportunities since July 21st for you all to address this issue. As a result, as a member of the voting public, my perception and that of my neighbors that are here today is that one of distrust, and now that is our reality. My suspicions have been sensitized as growing up in Chicago, home of perhaps the second most politically corrupt environment in the United States. So why is it that this rezoning issue has not been addressed in a timely fashion? There's 2 realities that come to mind in my point of view. And one of those realities, the public's realities, are the following that come to pass. It must be that a delay will allow a decision to be made after the election, that is this Saturday, and is publicly unpopular decision, but politically positive. Letting my perception and reality forecast the future, I can see the council delaying this further until a time when the public is distracted with the holidays and a vote on an ordinance is taken in Donaldsonville, away from the local public specter of northern Ascension Parish. There will be no route for public frustration at this point in time for them to vent their frustration on the lame duck council members. And as a result, the only route will be for the public to do the job that the council has charged with the Zoning and Planning Commission, except it will have to be achieved by costly legal action, as was occurred with escapades and silhouettes. And the other, much more happy outcome, the following comes to pass. The council votes to agree to the Zoning and Planning Commission decision, period. I hope that the adjacent landowners, neighbors, and nearly 300 households of potential voters in all have their perception changed by the council in November when you vote on this rezoning issue and accept the decision of the Planning and Zoning. To do otherwise would basically allow Rain Rod to violate principles 1, 2, 3, and 5 of the zoning department as defined by this council, namely protect public safety,
Thank you,
property,
sir.
manage growth, and preserve the rural character of the parish.
Ms.
Thank you.
Lisa Lusko, am I saying that right, ma'am? Lusko, I'm sorry.
Hi, good evening. Thanks for giving me this opportunity. I know this item is for review only, but I urge you to take into consideration our views during your deliberation that you'll be thinking about this over the next few weeks before you accept or deny the Planning and Zoning Commission's request to you guys. At that meeting, I spoke specifically to access and a few other concerns. But tonight, I would like to just address the premise of the matter. This gentleman, Mr. Dornier, purchased residential land. He's not a longtime resident who finds himself impeded by commercial entities. He bought residential land with the full intent of asking that it be rezoned to commercial. It's his right to do that, but the premise of the matter is, quite frankly, offensive to residents who will be affected by this adversely. The tennis facility that has been sold as a great addition to our parish is a private club. It is not a public playground that this gentleman is putting there. And it can be put there without the rezoning. He states he wants the rezoning so he can serve alcohol in his clubhouse. Well, again, I find it very offensive on the premise of the matter. Our lives should be altered forever for his fancy and his pocketbook. And that, as a resident, oftentimes we are left with the decisions of the council and the Planning and Zoning Commission holding the bag. Drainage, you name it, for any other reason. I have a river in my backyard from a similar situation. And there's no recourse for the residents at that time, after all this is said and done, 2 years down the road, when this operation may fail, or when we find a drainage issue or any other reason, we have no recourse but our own pocketbooks and legal avenues. The Planning and Zoning Commission ruled with the residents for a reason. And I ask you to please study this issue, hear our concerns. We know you're not voting on it tonight, but we wanted you to be aware of how important this is to us all. And again, this was residential land. This is why we have zoning. People should not buy residential land. He should go and buy commercial land if he wants a clubhouse to serve alcohol. That's just the way it should be. We have zoning for a reason. So I'm speaking just on the premise of the matter. Everybody has addressed everything from access, from airline, not from airline. But the premise is what is really under my skin and has been for a long time. So I thank you for listening to our comments and sharing your time with us this evening. And please consider our thoughts as you move forward in your deliberation on this matter. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Chief LeBlanc, would you come up? I know you have a meeting you have to go to. Miss Judy Davis, you're next, please. Chief's going to be about 5 seconds here, and he's got a meeting he has to leave.
Yeah, I'm sorry to even butt in on this one, but just wanted to invite the parish president and the council Saturday morning, 9:30 at the Lamar Dixon Center. Ladies and gentlemen, Saturday morning we are receiving $1.7 million worth of brand spanking new fire trucks in Ascension Parish for all the volunteer fire departments on the east bank of the river. So what I'm asking for is the council and the parish president, I know Saturday's election day, take a few minutes. At 9:30, we're going to be taking a picture of all these brand-new fire trucks that are coming to town. The only time this has ever been done in Ascension Parish was 1976. So I invite the public to Lamar Dixon Center Saturday morning, 9:30, to view these brand spanking new fire trucks that is going to protect the people of Ascension Parish. Thank you.
Great news, Chief. Thank you. Miss Judy Davis, please.
Good evening. My name is Judy Davis. I've lived in Belgrove subdivision and been a realtor for around 30 years. Our parish has been a wonderful community to raise the family, retire, and enjoy the rural character we all enjoy and find appealing. In real estate, we say location, location, location. The Planning Commission has recommended no zoning change to the piece of property behind our subdivisions off of Old Perkins Road. It is presently zoned medium residential and can have no more than 3 homes per acre. The applicant, Mr. Donier, is asking that the zoning be changed to mixed use. This will allow up to 20 units per acre. The paperwork for this project was incomplete when presented to the Commission. The applicant was deceptive when he spoke to the property owners about what his plans were. The zoning table allows recreational uses in medium residential with a contractual agreement. If this project was about tennis courts, we wouldn't be discussing a zoning change. It is apparent that there is something else on the applicant's mind for this property. You are here to protect our property rights, property values, and the health, safety, and welfare of the community. This zoning change was denied by the Planning Commission at their July 13th meeting. We are asking that you, the council, accept the recommendation of the Commission and deny this zoning change. Any other action on your part is unacceptable. We will be watching the agenda. We will be back. Thank you for allowing me to speak.
Okay. Mr. Mark Allen, please.
I'm Mark Allen. I live right next door to where this tennis court's supposed to be. And I don't know how it can be up here for review today when there's nothing any different than what the council has already turned down. There's not a set of plans that shows how they're going to get to the property off Airlines. There's no right-of-way that shows how they're going to get there, where the power's going to come from, how the sewer's going to be handled. Through all of this talk, I've listened to y'all talk about y'all going to get over there and do something about the bayou and about the flooding and all that. Watched a great show Saturday about the 80 tons of trash we took out of the bayou, and I understood it's so hard because you got to have a permit to do everything in that bayou. I've lived there for 15 years. I've watched the trash come down. You're fixing to disturb more than 5 acres of land there. There hadn't been an NPDS study done. There's not a permit from the Corps. There's no guidance of what you can do. So please tell me how you're going to review something if you don't know what you're reviewing. You got to look at it and know where it's coming from and what's the outcome. Get a set of drawings so the people can look at it, let us know where the right-of-way is, show us a study of how you're going to make U-turns on Airline Highway at 4 o'clock and 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Show us how you're going to get your power there. You got a business. When he goes to get his insurance, he's going to have 2 means of in and out. Somewhere he's going to have to go through one of them subdivisions to get it insured to protect the people. Please don't review something and decide on something till you know what's there and you see it in writing and you see a drawing. My family's got more to lose than anybody. I'm the only one to get to look at it out my front window, out my bedroom window, and all the windows upstairs. Please do the right thing. I keep hearing about we're going to clean that bayou up and we're going to get some help over there. You're fixing to make it worse. I'm not for this tennis court. I'm not against this tennis court. You don't have enough facts and enough information to review anything. And until you get that, please do everybody a favor and don't vote on something we don't know what we're going to get. In closing, I appreciate your time. I know it's for review, but I sure would like to see a show of hands who's all for this and who's against it before the election on Saturday.
Thank you, Mr. Allen. Ms. Grace Gary. Grace Gary.
Good evening. My name is Grace Gary. I live at 18512 on White Oak Drive. I'm in Ascension Parish because I've been hit by a disaster in Terrebonne in 2008. My house flooded for the second time because of circumstances that I had nothing to do with, and drainage that was changed, not that I knew anything about, and state road that was dug out from Farm to Market to Rutt Street became a 4-lane road, and my sons 30 years ago started making money pulling people out of the floods on that 4-lane road. So I'm in Prairieville. I love my neighborhood. I chose to be there because it was like a small town to me, and I'm very happy to be there, and I don't want another disaster, and I do not want to live on a street where there's constant movement of heavy equipment and heavy traffic as it is now. To go to Mass in the morning, to make a left turn out of the street, it's hard enough. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. Councilman, we'll move into our presentation part of our agenda, please. Certificate of Achievement, Chad Bro, champion of the 2011 Baton Rouge Amateur Golf Championship.
Chad is a businessman here in Ascension Parish. He's one of the best electricians that I know, and it seems like he does other things well also. So tonight we want to present him with a certificate of achievement. This certificate is hereby awarded to Chad Bro, 2011 champion, Baton Rouge Amateur Golf Championship, and Knights of Columbus 64th Annual State Golf Championship. The Parish of Ascension is proud to present this certificate of achievement to Chad Bro. Chad won the Baton Rouge Amateur Golf Championship in August. In September, he again took first place at the Knights of Columbus 64th Annual State Golf Championship. We join Council Chairman Pat Bell and the entire Parish Council in congratulating Chad for his championship play and for representing the great Parish of Ascension. Chad, great job. Thank you.
Thank you, Pat. Thank you. I'd like to thank the council and the parish for this certificate. It's truly been an exciting summer for me, and this just tops it all off. Appreciate everything, guys. Thanks. Thank you. Thank you, Tommy.
Next, we have a proclamation, October 22nd as Make a Difference Day in Ascension Parish. Anyone here? Yes, she is. Volunteer Ascension, yes. To proclaim October 22nd as Make a Difference Day in Ascension Parish, whereas connecting with others and working together through volunteer service can bridge the differences that separate people and help solve serious social problems in our society. And whereas millions of Americans committed to engage in volunteer projects on this appointed date last year, and whereas we as Americans have a tradition of philanthropy and volunteerism no better displayed anywhere than by the people of Ascension Parish, and whereas USA Weekend Magazine, along with the Points of Life Institute and its affiliated organizations, including Volunteer Ascension, have joined to promote the spirit of volunteerism through a National Day of Doing Good. Now therefore be it proclaimed, I, Tommy Martinez, President of the Parish of Ascension, State of Louisiana, by the virtue of the authority vested in me, do hereunto proclaim October 22nd, 2011, as Make a Difference Day in Ascension Parish, and urge my fellow citizens to participate in activities to benefit their community. Thank you.
I'd like to thank the parish for the support with this program. We have had such tremendous support with our Make a Difference Day program each year, and I wanted to let you know that as of close of business today, we have 532 volunteers that have already logged over 3,700 hours for this year's Make a Difference Day. So if you all have any projects that you'd like to take part in from now till Saturday, let us know and we can register them with this year's Make a Difference Day. So just as I always say, volunteerism is alive and well in Ascension Parish for sure. Thank you.
Volunteerism and Volunteer Ascension was started in the early 1990s and through the Points of Light Foundation, and it's grown into just a wonderful thing here in the parish. And I just want to thank all of you and your board for a job well done and for the worthy causes that you take on each year. And you've done an excellent job, and we appreciate you. Thank you. Next we have Kim Friends Week in Ascension Parish. Martha? Heather. Okay. Every year the Plants, they've started a program here, and I think it's in its 15th year with Kim Friends, and they have a day set aside where they bring the the school children in, and they teach them about science. And it's been going on for 15 years. It's something that the chemical corridor reaches out to the students here. And again, every year it's very, very successful. And if you ever get a chance to drop by there, It's a wonderful event, and our children learn a lot about science, and we appreciate that. And to proclaim Kim Friends Week in Ascension Parish, whereas the Kim Friends Expo will celebrate its 15th year, November 2nd and 3rd, 2011, at the Gonzales Civic Center, with the objective of raising interest in science and chemistry among our students and the community. And whereas our country, state, and parish all have a need for more trained professionals in the fields of chemistry, engineering, and other science-related areas. And whereas local students need to be exposed to these professions in order to encourage their interest in these fields. And whereas the Chem Friends Expo has developed in support of National Chemistry Week and has proven to be one of the most successful outreach programs in this area. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed, I, Tommy Martin, as President of the Parish of Ascension, State of Louisiana, by the virtue of the authority vested in me, do hereunto proclaim November 1st to the 4th, 2011, as Chem Friends Week in Ascension Parish, and urge my fellow citizens to participate in this worthwhile educational endeavor. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm honored to be here today on behalf of the Chem Friends Committee. The co-chairs, Rick Bergeron from OxyChem and Joby Tomplay from Air Products, were not able to be here today, so they asked me to fill in for them. I'm really excited to be part of Chem Friends. This is the first year for our company, Champion Technologies, in Geismar. 2011 marks the 15th year for the Chem Friends Expo. The concept was originated right here by industry leaders in Ascension Parish, and it's been very successful. On the two days will be November 2nd and 3rd at the Gonzales Civic Center from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Every sixth grader from Ascension Parish will have the opportunity to experience chemistry hands-on. We also, that's approximately 1,800 sixth graders, if you can believe that. Also, on Thursday night, November 3rd, we'll have community night from 5 to 7. And I would like to encourage all the citizens of Ascension Parish to bring your families and be part of Chem Friends. And hopefully we'll be able to spark a lot of excitement and enthusiasm for chemistry in all the students in Ascension Parish. Did you want me to name the companies involved? Okay. The members of Chem Friends are Air Products, CF Industries, DuPont, Motiva, PCS Nitrogen, Shell Chemicals, Williams, Ascension Parish School Board, Louisiana DEQ, River Parish Community College, BASF, Lion Copolymer, Honeywell, OxyChem, Rubicon, Westlake Chemical, Ascension Parish Government, Southern University, Gonzales Fire Department, and Champion Technologies. In closing, I want to thank you for this opportunity on behalf of the Chem Friends Committee, and I hope that we can really benefit the students of Ascension Parish, and they'll find that chemistry can be fun. Thank you.
Next, we've got a very special person that we're honoring here tonight. who's been a friend of mine for, I don't know, as long as I can remember. I grew up in the same town that he did, Darrah, Louisiana. When I was a little boy, he and Miss Eartha lived there, and of course his wife has been involved in education for I don't know how many years, and Reverend Rayburn, as I said, is just an outstanding pillar of Ascension Parish. And it's proud for me to ask him to come up tonight, and we make a proclamation here for you, Rev. And I always call him Rev because he's such a good friend. Get Miss Earth up here. Behind every good man, they got a great woman, right, Rev? So, family up. Okay. Parish of Louisiana, State of Louisiana, proclamation to proclaim October 30th, 2011 as Dr. Reverend Richard Rayburn, that's kind of long, Rev, Senior Day in Ascension Parish. Whereas Dr. Reverend Richard Rayburn Sr., overseer of the Christian Assembly Full Gospel Church, was baptized in June 1950 and has been faithful unto God for 61 years. And whereas Dr. Reverend Richard Rayburn Sr. has led many souls to Christ, baptized, buried, christened, and counseled, and considered by many as truly a mighty man of God. And whereas he was a graduate of Prairieville High School, attended Southern University, finished in automotive engineering at Louisiana State University, before continuing on by attending Word of Life Bible School in New Orleans, Leland College in Baker, and graduating at Louisiana Bible College to possess a doctorate degree in theology. And whereas Dr. Reverend Rayburn Sr. has traveled extensively throughout the United States and all over the world, but now serves Ascension Parish and surrounding areas faithfully. And whereas he retired as supervisor with 25 years of service at Ormet Aluminum Plant, and whereas Dr. Reverend Richard Rayburn Sr. was given a vision by God to build the Christian Assembly, a vision that became a reality, and started the vision with no finances, but with prayers, and the Lord provided all of the needs. And whereas Dr. Reverend Richard Rayburn Sr. is a man of God that walks by faith, stands on the commands of God, and loves the people of God, while he remains humble and declares being a child of God is the most important thing in his life. Now, therefore, it be proclaimed, I, Tommy Martin, as president of the Parish of Ascension, State of Louisiana, by the virtue of authority vested in me, do hereunto proclaim Sunday, October 30th, 2011, as Dr. Reverend Richard Rayburn Sr. Day in Ascension Parish, and make him an honorary parish president on this day, urging our citizens to accord him all the respect and honors due an honorary holder of this high office. Now, Rev, I'm planning on taking October 30th off, so I want you to know that you're going to have all these responsibilities to handle. So. But again, I want to salute you for all your years of service here in Ascension Parish. And I also want to thank you for being a friend all these years and a pillar of this community. And we all love you, and we hope you another 61 years of service. And I know the good Lord has blessed you and your family, and I'd like to ask you to say a few words.
Praise God. I'm glad to be here tonight and really appreciate this. I wasn't expecting all that, but it's wonderful to have friends. And you've showed yourself friendly for so many years. We've gotten along together in Darrow and throughout the parish. And we're living in a good place. We have a lot of good people. From the time I started preaching till now, I've seen a lot of difference. And we believe, by the grace of God, that our ministry, along with the school that we have, has made a difference in our parish. And we would really like to just keep working at it, along with the rest of these, the parish president and all the other elected officials, to make it be even a better place for us to live, to raise our children. It's not all about fighting each other. It's all about fighting for the right thing. And so we are grateful to God. And we have just a couple minutes more, not a couple minutes, 1 minute, I guess.
It's your day,
After preaching about 40 years, I had a vision and I died. Actually, my body actually left, my spirit left my body, and I saw another guy that had died, and we walked on this long road together. And as we walked on the long road together, on the end of the road, I saw a throne of God. And he was on that throne. He was high and lifted up like the book of Isaiah in that 6th chapter. And so when I got there, he didn't say anything to the other guy. But when I got there, he says, "Richard, what are you doing here now?" I said, "Oh, God, this is a beautiful place." He said, "Look, you go on back. You have some more preaching to do." And I thought it was just about over, but I have some more to do.
You got another day of work for sure.
And I found out by experience, I don't know who can argue with my boss, because he's the King of Kings and Lord of Lords, the wonderful Counselor, the mighty God, the everlasting Father, the Prince of Peace. He is above all, through all, and in all, and he loves all. You want to say a word? Thank you so much for your patience.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you.
That's enough.
As I tell you, they always had a woman behind every good man, Rev. And this is Rev. This is your two sons. You want to introduce your two sons?
I'm no longer pastor in the Christian Assembly. I'm just a general overseer there now. My son Richard, he finished up and got prepared himself, and so he's taken over now as pastor of the Christian Assembly. This is Darren. Darren, the second son. We only have two sons, and he is the drummer. And he can get pretty loud too sometimes. But we thank God for these boys of serving God along with me.
Thank you, Rev. Take a picture now.
Thank you. That's amazing. I drink tea and stuff while I'm on this medicine. I'm scared to get. I'm afraid to. Ready? Okay, next, item 6, we'll have our parish president report, please.
I don't have anything, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, sir. Item 7, we will do our consent agenda. Councilman, remember, we are passing on item D. I'll need a motion, please.
Motion approved.
Motion by Councilman Adrian Thompson.
Second.
Second by Councilman Chris Lohr. Any discussion? Any objection? Motion carries. We are passing on item 8. Mr. Ricky Compton, please.
Zoning Review ID 2173.11, Tract A1A for Rain Rod, Inc., located on the north end of Perkins Oaks Road, approximately 2,500 feet north of LA Highway 427, Perkins Road, to amend the Ascension Parish zoning map from medium-intensity residential to mixed use. Zoning Commission recommends denial of this amendment for review only.
Okay, Councilman, this is for review only. Next is introduction of ordinances. Legal counsel, Ms. Tony Folterman, please.
This is to amend the Ascension Parish subdivision regulations, section 17405D2, sign requirements for public notice by developer.
Motion introduced by Councilman Todd Lambert, second by Councilman Dennis Cullen. Any objection? Ordinance is introduced. Number 10, please.
This is to amend the 2011 budget and appropriate the 2012 budget.
Have a motion by Councilman Randy Cluard, second by Councilman Adrian Thompson. Any objection? Ordinance is introduced. We'll now move in our public hearing ordinance section. Item 11, Ms. Tony.
The purpose of this ordinance is to authorize the purchase of and to purchase the immovable property described in the act of cash sale from the South Louisiana State Fair Incorporated, a Louisiana nonprofit corporation which property is commonly known as South Louisiana Fairgrounds, and to authorize related matters as herein provided. Whereas the Parish of Ascension desires to purchase the immovable property described Exhibit A of the agreement attached hereto and made part hereof pursuant to the terms contained in the agreement. Be it ordained by the Ascension Parish Council that the parish agrees to purchase the subject immovable property, real estate property, from the South Louisiana Fair Incorporated, a Louisiana nonprofit corporation, and to adopt and execute the act of cash sale agreement, which agreement provides for the purchase the subject property particularly described in Exhibit A of said agreement. Said property being 14 plus or minus acres located within the municipal city limits of the city of Donaldsonville and is commonly known as the South Louisiana State Fairgrounds property. The parish shall purchase the property for the full and true sum of $988,000. The parish president is authorized to procure and acquire a title insurance policy to protect the parish ownership interest in the property. The purchase of the property is subject to approval by the parish attorney and contingent upon the seller being able to deliver a merchantable title. Upon approval of the terms of the agreement and any other documents connected therewith by the parish attorney, the parish authorizes the parish president to execute any and all documents required to complete the act of sale of the property.
I need a motion to open public hearing, please. Got a motion by Councilman Adrian Thompson, second by Councilman Kent Shakespeare. Anyone wish to speak on this matter, please come forward, sign in. You'll be allowed 3 minutes.
Motion to close.
Got a motion to close by Councilman Adrian Thompson.
Second.
Second by Councilman Oliver Joseph. I'll need a motion for the ordinance, please. Got a motion by Councilman Adrian Thompson.
Second.
Second by Councilman Oliver Joseph. Any discussion?
Yes.
Councilman Kent Shakespeare, please.
I want to thank all the members of the Lemon family. I want to thank all the members of the Lemon family for the years that they've kept this as a recreation asset for the town of Donaldsonville and now the parish of Ascension and all the people of Ascension Parish. It is prime property at any point in time. They could have sold that and they kept it in recreation, and now it's given over to the parish. It is something that we can utilize for emergency services and recreation in the future, and so we want to thank all the families for all they've done for recreation and all we can continue to do in the future. So I think the parish has a big debt to them for what they've done, and we want to thank them all.
Okay, sir. Any more discussion, Councilman? I'm sorry, Parish President?
Yes, I just want to, this is, again, Gustav money, CBGG grants, not costing Ascension Parish anything. It's all grant. And, you know, we were looking for property for a public works building. This will give us that spot. We're also going to work with the city to put a new fire station there on that property and do a cooperative endowment agreement. And as you said, it would be excellent. It's going to be an excellent location for our emergency service in the event that the bridge is out or anything else is out, that we have this property. It's about 14 acres of property and all improvements and also recreation fields that been there forever. So I just want to clarify that this is not, the parish is using grant money to buy this, similar to Lamar Dixon. It's not costing a penny.
Okay, sir. Any more discussion, Councilman? Councilman Oliver Joseph.
Yeah, I just would like to thank the administration for a great job in negotiating this deal. It's a dying need in the in the city of Donaldsonville. This park has been a big service to the community, but now it's hopefully we can work together with the city of Donaldsonville and the parish to make it a bigger and better, successful community area for the community. And I just also like to make a comment that. Mr. President, I hope we get the whole community input on making them an improvement. So I hope we can work with the community on making those improvements.
Plan on doing it.
Thank you very much, sir.
Okay, so thank you. Any more comments, Councilman? Have any objection? Motion is adopted. Ordinance is adopted. Okay, before we get to Councilman Todd Lambert, I know you're ready, Councilman Lambert. Senator Meyer, thank y'all for putting this together tonight. Mr. Lester Kenyon, John Conley, Clint Falcon, thank y'all for everything you do for us. Sherry Kinchin, Beth James, thanks for your hard work on the Veterans Parade. Thank you for everything you do. And while I'm on that subject, the Veterans Parade, I'll keep saying it every meeting, November 13th at 2 p.m. November 13th, 2 p.m. Anything with wheels, legs, or what have you can be in the parade. It's free of charge. It's a patriotic, it's not a bead throwing, candy throwing, it's flag waving. We welcome everybody. Please contact either myself or Sherry Kinchin, please, or Beth James. I just remind everybody this is a very important weekend. Go out and vote. You exercise your right to vote. It's because of these veterans we have that right. Thank you, John Griffin. Our deputy was in the back. Thank you, sir. Thank you. And as always, before happy birthday, well, happy birthday, Mr. David Matassa. October 17th, and Miss Beth James be 39 on November 2nd. So, and as always, we could not be the parish we are, couldn't come close without our parish employees. Myself, the councilman, we thank them from the bottom of our heart. It's because of them where we're at right now. Thank all of y'all. Councilman Lambert?
Motion to adjourn, Mr. Chairman.
A motion by Councilman Todd Lambert, second by Councilman Kent Shake Snyder.